Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk specifically about Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, and we're going to talk about the alternate covers on the physical books. Are they good? Let's get into it. All right, so I just bought my Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and I walked into my FLGS, and it was really nice. I think they had at least 10 copies. Now, actually, I do want to, so I'll tell you my full FLGS. So I got super excited. I went right after work on day one when I could get it. But there were two FLGSs in my area. One of them focuses on Magic the Gathering, and one of them is a comic shop. And I asked my daughter, and she did the mystery work on if the MTG shop had it, because they were my first idea to buy, right? I wanted to give them the money. They didn't have it in stock. They said, we'll have it in stock on Friday. I called the other shop, and they had it today. So I was like, bet, I'm there. And I actually, the place where I bought it, it's not actually an FLGS. It's an LGS. Their staff is pretty unfriendly. Actually, they have like 4 people who work there, and 3 of them are, one of them is really nice. 2 of them are okay. One of them is god-awful. It's their Warhammer expert. And he's just the worst. And I feel bad when people have to talk to him, because I've been there for years. But you can have one of those I had a terrible time at the local game shop, just because he's just super, super non-nice. It's weird. But they're in my area, and I'm like, these guys are here, and they have incredible stock. They take really good care of all their merchandise, and they had at least 20 copies, right? And they had the alternate, and they had the and also one of the okay guys was in. I didn't have to deal with the mean Warhammer guy, their Warhammer staff dude. So basically, they had the alternate cover, and they had the traditional cover, right? And I know what the alternate cover is. I'm not sure if you guys, I probably bet most of you know it, but just in case there's anybody listening to this who doesn't know what the alternate covers are, the alternate covers are specifically given to local game shops, FLGSs, friendly local game shops, right? And you can't get them on Amazon, which I think is brilliant. I love that. Wizards of the Coast is we're still trying to help people who have physical game shops in their area, and this is just one way we can do it. And that's really important as we go forward. So the reason alternate covers exists is to up FLGSs, friendly local game shops. That is incredibly noble. That is the paladin smite maneuver, man. That's the right thing. That's the lawful good choice, right? Because they don't have to do it, and they're still doing it years later, right? And I love that they do that. It's really important. So get this. Let's talk about the alternate covers. I don't like the alternate covers. I don't think they're better than the normal cover. I bought the alternate cover today. One, I bought it because I'm literally at the only place I can get it, right? So if I had bought the other one, it would just be the box standard cover that I could have got from Amazon, which I actually think is the better cover, right? And now my Wild Beyond the Witchlight, when that goes on the shelf with all my other D&D books, I love that all the spines match, and I can just read, and now I got this weird white-blue spine that doesn't match any of my other books, and it's weird and ugly. I don't like it, right? The other thing is, the Wild Beyond the Witchlight cover that you would get from Amazon is excuse me, the Wild Beyond the Witchlight cover that you would get from Amazon is this gorgeous painting. It's just beautiful, right? And instead, the alternate cover is just like this stylized displacer beast. And I think that most of the alternate covers are not as good as the regular cover, right? So the reality is, I think the vast majority of alternate covers are worse than the traditional cover, right? And they look much worse on the shelf. They really look pretty bad on the shelf. They're all mismatched. Oh my gosh, have you guys seen the alternate cover on Candlekeep Mysteries? It's terrible. It looks like, I guess it was made to look like a tome, from a 1950s library. It's horrible. It's just really bad, right? I don't own that book, but I was just looking at the alternate cover the other day, and it's pretty, it's dog awful. It's not good. So overall, I really think that the alternate covers are really bad, right? However, I buy them when I have the choice. Here's the reasons why. I think that just helping the FLGS is so good that it's almost like I bought a $10 bag of popcorn the other day from literally from a Boy Scout, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, so like the only thing you didn't do was, I felt like I was being held up, right? Like my hand should have been up when I was buying this $10 bag of popcorn. It was pretty bad, right? But sometimes you just do the right thing, and I really feel like the alternate covers are the right thing. The other thing is, this is a small thing, but it means another artist got a pretty good nut. Like, I think they get thousands of dollars for these covers, Now, you don't get thousands of dollars for all TTPRG art, but I do think they're getting a few $1,000s for these alternate covers. And I love that there's, and I want there to be these good, high-paying jobs out there within the tabletop role-playing game industry, because there's so little money being made in the tabletop role-playing game space to begin with, right? So I love that this is, Wizards of the Coast is a real company with juice in the tabletop role-playing game industry, and this is a good job that comes up every 3 months. And it can highlight an artist that might need highlights, or just an artist that doesn't need highlights but just needs another check, right? And so, as a dyed-in-the-wool capitalist, I'm very happy that that these big high-paying covers are out there. And by doing the alternate cover, they're having to put out more high-dollar checks. Wizards of the Coast, I know that, right? It's just math. So that's my opinion of the alternate covers. I think they're far worse than the regular covers, but I do buy them, and I'm very glad they exist. What do you think? What is, in your collection, are you mostly alternate covers, or are you mostly standard cover? And have you ever bought a standard cover in an FLGS that has the alternate on the shelf? I couldn't do that, right? It wouldn't even matter what the covers look like. I just couldn't bring myself to do that. I'm a collector, and I'm always thinking about value. The other thing is the alternate covers are far more rare, right? So, when I die and my kids sell this stuff, they'll get a few extra bucks. It's like, that's my take. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.